गरिमा को गिराने का काम विदेशी धरती पर करना बंद करें। उन्होंने आके यहाँ पे माफी मांगना चाहिए।
And leader of the house himself raised the issue of Rahul Gandhi ji.
Right.
So it is their mistake, not ours. He is not a house member of our house. How can he apologize in Rajya Sabha?
Let's get into the face-off straight up, ladies and gentlemen. Shehzad Poonawalla, BJP national spokesperson, and Sumit Hridayesh, Congress leader, joining us on this face-off. Shehzad Poonawalla is through with us. Namaste, Shehzad. Sumit Hridayesh should join us any moment now. Usually, it's the opposition that demands something of the government. This time around, it's vice versa. The government is asking things of the opposition.
आनंद परस्पर विरोधे तु वयम पंचते शतम परायस्तु विग्रहे प्राप्ते वयम पंचाधिक shatam, which means that when the Pandavas, meaning us, and Kauravas fight against each other, the Pandavas and Kauravas may be 5 versus 100. But when the Pandavas and Kauravas face an external threat, they are not 100 versus 5, they are 105. And today that is the sense that has been demonstrated even by Vajpayee ji when he argued India's case in United Nations at insistence of Narasimha Rao ji. But look at the Indian MP Rahul Gandhi today, that at a time when we are celebrating 75 years of our independence, he goes to the land of Britain, which is now being run by an Indian origin person, and demands UK, US, European intervention, calls them protectors of democracy, says he is shocked by their oblivion. And not for the first time, Anand, he's done this with Nicholas Burns, he has done it with Manishankar Ayyar, sent to Pakistan as an emissary, as a murid of Rahul Gandhi, demanding support of Pakistan to depose Prime Minister Modi. So time and again, एक व्यक्ति विरोध में, देश विरोध में उतर आना और 140 करोड़ के लोकतंत्र में हमारी संप्रभुता पर हमला करते हुए विदेशी ताकतों का हस्तक्षेप मांगना, ये भारत का बिट्रेयल है। केवल इस बात पर, चलिए बाकी आप टिप्पणी करो, मोदी जी को मर जा मोदी जी खत्म हो जाए, सुखजिंदर रंधावा ने कहा, सारी चीजें मान लेते हैं, बट हाउ कैन यू डिमांड दैट फॉरेन पावर इंटरवीन इन आवर डेमोक्रेसी? एक ही सवाल पूछूंगा, ये हमारे सुमित जी है। सुमित जी, पापा से लड़ाई होती है तो क्या पापा की शिकायत आप पड़ोसी से करते हैं क्या? ये सुमित जी और शहजाद की संस्कृति नहीं है, पर ये राहुल गांधी की संस्कृति क्यों है कि पापा से लड़ाई है तो पड़ोसी के पास जाते हैं?
नहीं, यहाँ पड़ोसी के पास भी नहीं, बहुत दूर जाकर दुनिया जहान सबसे मांगते हैं, बट
पड़ोसी के बारे में कहते हैं,
but that's the beauty, but that's, isn't that supposed to be the beauty of our country, Shehzad Poonawalla, that you have the freedom to express your point of view. You may have a point of view and you have gone ahead and expressed it in front of a forum of people who think that they want to listen to that point of view. Let Sumit Hridayesh respond. Let Sumit Hridayesh respond, then you counter him. Shehzad, he's joined us. Yes, Sumit ji.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I was listening to your analogy of Papa and Beta. It's kind of funny. But you know what? Whatever Rahul ji said there, what he said, he pointed finger at the political system that is existing in India, not at the country itself. So you have to understand the country's government is not the country. The country is, like the previous speaker was saying, 140 crore people in this country. And while Rahul ji was on his mammoth and wondrous Bharat Jodo Yatra, he met so many people along the way and so many stories he had to tell and so many interactions that he had with the common man. Unfortunately, it's the dark truth of the day that the pillars of democracy are in danger. And he went to his alma mater, he went to Cambridge, and he expressed his opinion. And this narrative is suddenly coming from the right-wing parties, especially the BJP, that he asked for some kind of international interference, which is absolutely false. There is no quote by him saying any of the sort. In fact, the next interview that he had, he clearly stated that, of course, we will sort it out in a democratic and internal process within our country. But of course, if he's asked his opinion, and he's not just a leader that India looks up to, he's a leader that the world looks up to, and he does have a presence, whether you'd like it or not. It's a fact. So I think what Rahul ji did was express his opinion, and he's very honest with his opinions, and he's very expressive with his opinions. And I don't think there was any harm done to the country. And this is just a narrative that's being folded up by the BJP and served on a plate to the people of India.
Shehzad Poonawalla is showing something. Yes, Shehzad.
Anand, again, this country, my democracy, our 5,000-year-old history of this great country allows us to even counter our theological texts. We are not those countries कि हम सर से तन को जुदा कर देते हैं, even theological basis पर. But, Anand ji, I am showing you the Hindu report. Hindu has reported about Nicholas Burns' meeting. CNN News18 has also reported. Rahul Gandhi at that time had questioned and asked Nicholas Burns intervene in our democracy. I would also request CNN News18 all day long. They have shown the bite of Rahul Gandhi, and I can quote what Rahul Gandhi has said in the international platform. He has said, "I am shocked that the defenders of democracy are oblivious about democracy collapsing. I have no qualms if he says things about government. I have no qualms if he even criticizes institutions of India for a moment. I am giving him that leeway also. I am only asking one limited point. Our national sovereignty means that nobody else will intervene in my matter. Anand, Shehzad, Sumit, all of us will decide हमको हमारा देश कैसे चलाना है." When he says, why aren't these powers, so-called powers of democracy, not intervening and taking action, what does he mean? Should they sanction us? Should they send armed forces into our country? And who? America, who has never had a non-Christian president? Who? United Kingdom, who did colonialism and imperialism all over the world. They will teach us about democracy. Or China, who is in harmony according to Rahul Gandhi. Or Pakistan will teach us, जहां पे एक प्रधानमंत्री पूरा टेन्योर नहीं कर पाया, कौन करेगा भाई हमारे देश में इंटरवीन? किसकी जरूरत है? मैं केवल इस स्टेटमेंट पर हूं. आनंद, I request your channel to quote that statement and show the video of Rahul Gandhi, or I will show it. I have it with me.
Sumit Hridesh, were you able to hear Shehzad? I think
I'm so sorry. I got cut off in the middle. But I do understand where Mr. Poonawalla is coming from, and my sympathies are with him. Unfortunately, this narrative of hatred and this narrative of blaming anybody who criticizes the government as an anti-national has been carrying on for a while. So it's a story that's not new. I mean, this is a very regular narrative that the BJP and its allies serve up to the nation. So unfortunately, the whole essence of Rahul Gandhi's speech or his thoughts or his views were in the interest of democracy and the democratic process that has existed in this country since independence, and the constitution that upholds all the values of our great nation, which are being torn page by page, letter by letter, on a daily basis. So yeah, Mr. Poonawalla, I can see your flashing stuff. Well done. But seriously, if he went there and he expressed his views that the democratic, the pillars of democracy are under grave threat in India.
Yeah, but you know, right. See, Sumitji, if you allow me, I just want to ask you this. Whatever he has claimed, has he been able to substantiate it anywhere? Do you think it is fair for him? It is fair for him. You're still showing a headline. I will ask you to read it out later, Shehzad. Just allow me to make this point with Sumit Hridesh. Do you think it is fair for him to stand there at Cambridge, point to a Sikh and say, you are in danger in India? Do you think it is fair for him to say that? Do you think it is fair for him to say that Muslims in our country are in danger? Do you think, can he absolve his responsibility as an Indian citizen on foreign soil? I have 3 questions, Sumitji. Will you do that? Will you go ahead? Can you hear me? Well, again, we seem to have lost that audio. I want to take that question with Sumit Hridesh. We seem to have a technical problem. I request the team to please sort that out. But Shehzad, the other aspect is, the government did not seek the apology or make it an agenda even before the session began. We've heard voices from the government say it is because the opposition raised the issue of Rahul Gandhi that we have brought it up. Otherwise, you are not going to bring it up also in Parliament.
Anand, one thing is very clear. This government is the most democratic government. It has given the opportunity to an Adivasi woman president to become. I know it's a matter of laughing for a person to see an Adivasi woman to become the president of this country because they feel that they are of evil mindset. Now, Sumitji, I believe your audio is fine. So please hear the point.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
So please
now, please, in the interest of democracy, which you keep preaching, but you have none in your party, please listen to me. Look, I am quoting only 2 facts, Anand. I am saying I have no problem with Rahul Gandhi saying anything about criticizing the government, prime minister, democratic institutions in this country. Let's leave it. He has, and I've shown you 3 evidences. One is how he demanded intervention of USA from Nicholas Burns. Second, Manishankar Iyer demanded Pakistan's intervention in our elections. And third, you have the clip. If you want, and you can give me 30 seconds, I'll play Rahul Gandhi's clip where he is saying, I am shocked that the defenders of democracy are oblivion about Indian democracy collapsing, and he is requesting Europe and United States and United Kingdom to intervene. I am requesting you to just take 3 specific answers. Does Congress party support the betrayal of Bharat by compromising our national sovereignty by allowing foreign powers to intervene in internal affairs of India? That's the limited scope of the point I'm making. I am not even going into Rahul Gandhi's headless arguments that minorities are under threat. We just won elections in 3 northeast states where minorities are in huge numbers, and the Congress has been reduced to becoming a dodo there. It's extinct there. So I don't want to get into that. We can all talk about how the minority suffered during Hashimpura, Bhagalpur, Meerut, Malyana, Ahmedabad, Jalgaon, Delhi riots, and how the Congress party defended rioters like Sajjan Kumar. So let's not even go there. I am asking intervention of foreign power into our country, kosher or not.
Sumit Hridesh is not there. The other aspect is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi in the past, about 8-9 years ago, 6-7 years ago, 8-9 years ago, Sumit Hridesh is back. His Shehzad Poonawala's point is very limited. For somebody who's on record to turn around and say with the massacre of Sikhs in 1984 that some Congress leaders were perhaps involved, for him to turn and point a finger at Sikhs and say you are in danger in Bharat today. Is that fair? Secondly, what Shehzad Poonawala has turned around and asked right now, and we lost you there again, so I'm going to repeat that question. Why is he asking for foreign intervention on internal matters of Bharat?
Where does he ask for foreign intervention? This is just part of a narrative.
No. Rahul Gandhi has said, why has the US... It's headline. Congress has not challenged this headline. He's reading out the headline. Please read out the headline. You're showing it on your screen. He's showing it on the screen.
I don't listen. Headlines can be manipulated and formulated. Where is his video saying that he wants interference from the US or Europe?
Let me play the video.
These countries.
He's playing the video.
Like I said, in the next interview that he had, he clearly stated that, we are struggling to uphold the democratic values of this country because the government in power is slowly demolishing them brick by brick. And we endeavor to internally improve these things through our struggle, which the world doesn't seem to see. But, it's obvious that the world needs to see the struggle, and the world needs to realize that the government of India, you're not talking about the great country of India or a democratic process, but the government of India has slowly demolished these pillars of democracy, and they are doing it very categorically and very systematically.
But his attack, do you wholeheartedly believe, Sumit Hridesh, that Rahul Gandhi never said anything that could hurt Bharat's cause? When he points at a Sikh gentleman and says, you are not safe in Bharat, Is he not? And as alleged by the BJP, in the presence of a Pakistani national or a person of a Pakistani origin, in a capacity with respect to the university on stage, at a time when Khalistanis are trying to rear their ugly head, for him to turn around and say this, is that not going to hurt Bharat? Is a question that's been asked. So I'm asking you, do you agree with that kind of a question or disagree?
No, I have a counter for you. I want to ask you, did the Prime Minister of our country, when he visited Pakistan without informing anyone that it was not on his scheduled visit, and went there to meet Mr. Nawaz Sharif, did that help and benefit
Why did he
India?
go there? Do you know why he went there?
When the ISI
Was it a bilateral talk? Why is there a bilateral talk? Or did he go there to attend the wedding in the family of Nawaz Sharif as a step for friendship? I'm just putting the facts out there. You are entitled to your opinion. If you believe... Sir, let me ask you, Sumitji.
Who invited
No, I'm asking you, Sumitji. I'm asking you if you believe what PM Modi did wrong.
To offer them evidence.
Your own allegation. If you believe what PM Modi did wrong, let me ask you, Sumitji, then what Mr. Manishankar Iyer did, what Mr. Rahul Gandhi did, are they also wrong? Do you see it in the same barometer? Do you see it in the same yardstick, with the same yardstick? If what PM Modi did is wrong, then is what Rahul Gandhi, Manishankar Iyer and the others, what they have done is right or wrong?
I do not believe for a minute.
Or when Mr. Sam Petroda says, hua to hua, is that right or wrong?
Who traversed 4,000 kilometers across the country from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, meeting lakhs and crores of people,
Again,
will do anything to hurt this great country of
Okay,
ours.
Shehzad Poonawalla.
He is the protector.
Shehzad Poonawalla,
and the
Rahul
Congress party,
Gandhi
the
will
sole
never do anything to
opposition
hurt
party
Bharat.
that stands
Somebody
in front of the
who's
BJP
committed to
and
the
tells
cause
them
of
like it
Bharat,
is.
who's passionate about his country, how can he harm the country? That's the point Sumit Ritesh is making. Shehzad Poonawalla.
Congress spokespersons are such a bundle of contradictions. Just now, Sumitji said that he has walked 4,000 kilometers and met millions of people. And Rahul Gandhi
he said he has travelled.
Seminar,
He said he has travelled. He didn't say walked.
yeah, travelled 4,000 kilometers. And Rahul Gandhi abroad has said that the leaders of opposition have been immobilized. They can't move around in the country. We are detained if we move around. 1 second.
CBI,
Now, Mr. Sumit,
what are you doing?
look, I don't interrupt people. I have a civilized debate.
Fine.
You wait
fine,
your
fine.
Wait your turn. You're a respected spokesperson of the party.
Yeah, please
Look,
go ahead.
Anand, I have the video. I have sent you the video on WhatsApp of Rahul Gandhi directly demanding intervention of US and Europe. I am only on this limited point. I grant everything else to Rahul Gandhi in the spirit of democracy. He can attack the institutions, even though when he wins an election, EC is fine. When he wins a case, Supreme Court is fine. And then suddenly they become all bad and they become compromised and they forget their own history of emergency, banning Kishore Kumar, banning Andhi, banning Kissa Kursi Ka, and even the Supreme Court, how they manipulated with A.N. Ray and how they bypassed
correct.
Achar
But that's
Khanna,
all
how
history.
they got
That's
PR,
all what happened in the
I'm not
past. If the Congress was
Past.
guilty of doing
Not
what
past.
and destabilizing democratic institutions, does that justify or allow the BJP to do it in the current day, present day, Shehzad Poonawalla? It doesn't, right?
Yes. And now I am only saying that if you think that the institutions are destabilized, then how come when the Supreme Court gives a verdict on Adani, you are jumping with joy? The Supreme Court gives a verdict on Election Commission, you are jumping with joy. Sab kuch changa si, and then suddenly when the Supreme Court doesn't give relief to Manish Sisodia, hi, Supreme Court compromise. When Supreme Court doesn't give relief to Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, National Health Care, hi, Supreme Court compromise. Election Commission is compromised when you lose in Gujarat, but when you win in Himachal by 0.9%, great Election Commission. But otherwise, Election Commission is compromised. ये conditional commitment to Constitution आम्बेडकर जी ने नहीं सिखाया था. और आनंद जी मैं फिर से अपना reiterate कर रहा हूँ position. Foreign intervention demand किया है मणिशंकर अय्यर ने, राहुल गांधी ने multiple occasions पे. Can Congress clearly tell us, do they stand with that or are they against it? Simple.
The Congress currently on the show tonight is saying that they have never demanded it. They're saying they have not demanded it. You are saying there is a video.
I mean, this is just false.
Yeah.
and fake.
Sumit ji, final word.
That's been propagated for a long time. The only person where foreign intervention was actually applied and accrued was when Mr. Adani travels with the Prime Minister of our great country to various foreign shores. And suddenly on that trip he lands.
I think you've got the terms confused. You are making the allegation of crony capitalism and not foreign intervention. The allegation you are making is of crony capitalism and not foreign intervention. We'll take it up again, case by case and statement by statement. We'll break it down. Now we'll see whether or not.
You let Shehzad speak. Let me speak.
No,
please.
I have run out of time. That's why I had to jump in and intervene because I had to end the debate. But Sumit,
my last thing is
okay,
the
10
narrative
seconds.
is being plotted as such because the Congress is demanding a JPC.
Okay.
Because what the Heidenberg report
Can I respond?
and what Forbes magazine has unraveled about the whole Adani group and
5 seconds.
multiple offshore accounts.
But then what is being said in India? If you are not demanding foreign intervention or foreign influence, then what is being said in international media should not matter here in India at all.
They have not. This is just
and if you believe you have nothing to hide, Shehzad Poonawalla, then the government should give a plausible explanation why you are resisting a JPC.
Anand, because my dear friend, and I served in the Parliament as an officer of Parliament, in a sub judice matter, Parliament never intervenes. So JPC on an ongoing Supreme Court matter where a panel has already been constituted is impossible. That is the rule of Parliament. Okay. And secondly, do they not trust Supreme Court panel?
Do they
not trust Supreme Court panel?
Then look forward to a day when
that in this case, as you have pointed out, is conditional to which way the verdict swings. So as of now. So that's where we'll rest this debate with the promise to take it forward very, very soon. Sumit Ritesh and Shehzad Poonawalla, namaste. Thank you very, very much. Short break, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us here on The Right Stand.
Landed in people's hearts and really hit them, in this way before, certainly not on a global scale. I think Lagan did have a big impact. It actually changed my life and started my whole journey towards Indian cinema and moving to India. But then after that, there hasn't been anything close to this kind of response, and it's just a perfect storm. I guess in hindsight we can see like all the factors, and
Edward, now is a good time for you to shake a leg.
About the award that was announced just now for Best Picture. That's Everything Everywhere All at Once has won it. Michelle Yeoh just a few moments before won for Best Actor, and we had Brendan Fraser.
Speech, and the man deserved every bit of the standing ovation that he has got.
Yes, indeed. He was shortchanged as an actor, many believe. And then when he went on to win that award, I think that is the befitting trajectory that the Academy takes. It really awards the personal story, and especially when there's an intersection of it on screen, as in Everything Everywhere All at Once with Ki Hui Kwan. Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I think with that, it's going to be a wrap at the 95th Academy. Familiar with the name RRR. There is all this talk about, was Natu Natu the best song ever to emerge from the country? We can never tell. That's such a subjective thing. That's the thing with art. Who knows? Who can judge what is the best song?
Back on the right stand, ladies and gentlemen, with some dive into the science of spiritualism or yoga. And one of the methods to awaken the Kundalini or the divine energy that powers us, the battery here with eternal source that powers all of us, is via the method of Sahaj Yoga. Sahaj Yoga practitioners will be celebrating the 100th birth anniversary of Sri Mataji or Nirmala Devi Ji, the founder of Sahaj Yoga itself, or Nirmal Dham. Joining us now are Sahaj Yoga practitioners and those who work very closely with the entire organization that is Nirmal Dham. Harvinder Singh Ji, a practicing Sahaj Yogi from Delhi, and Smita Jaisalmeria, practicing Sahaj Yoga, joining us from the US. Namaste, thank you very, very much. Let me ask you first up, you have been practicing Sahaj Yoga for quite some time. What is Sahaj Yoga?
So Sahaj Yoga is nothing but simply the awakening of your primordial energy, which is known as Kundalini, which lies in every human being in a dormant state until it is awakened. And as soon as we ask God our self-realization, we immediately get it, because the Kundalini awakens, it crosses our fontanelle bone area, and as a result, we feel thoughtless, and we feel vibrations in our hands. So this is the biggest happening in a life of a human being. And it is the most difficult thing to awaken Kundalini in the yogic kriya.
Yes, it is. And you have to go through a very serious process of cleansing yourself before you even approach the ability to awaken Kundalini, Harvinder Ji. So how is this done via Sahaj Yoga?
Anandji, the Kundalini was difficult to awaken, because I think in the previous times what used to happen is that the gurus, who were realized souls as we used to call them, they used to select their disciples and they used to take them through a process and make sure that they're ready for the Kundalini and they used to call it cleansing process, so that they're ready for the Kundalini awakening. Now through modern Sahaj Yoga, what has really happened is the process is kind of reversed. So what happens is Kundalini awakening has become much easier now, and the process of cleansing follows after that when you start practicing this meditation more and more. So it used to be a difficult task because there was a way of doing it earlier, because let's say the mankind was not ready at the mental and the spiritual level at that time for the mass realization. Today the process is completely reversed, and now it's much easier, and that's how it happens in Sahaj.
But how can one achieve self-realization? Sri Mataji has started Nirmal Dham, but can anybody and everybody join, Smita Ji? Is there a fee to it? Is it a structured course? How does this work?
So self-realization in Sahaj Yoga is done by the grace of Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi. She started this in 1917 in India. And when we sit in front of Sri Mataji's photograph, we spread our hands like this and we ask Mother to awaken our Kundalini, which is our divine inner energy, and it awakens. And then, you as a result, you feel, it's a tangible feeling, as Harvinder Ji said. You feel it on your fingertips, you feel it on your head. Some people feel it within the subtle system, they feel different things. So every human being feels it differently, but there's always a tangible feeling. So you can come to the centers. We have centers all over the world. We have centers in India. You can go to our website, nirmaldham.org, and you can see where the centers are. If you cannot visit our centers, you can do it online also. You can, look at Shimadaji's photo, open your hands, and ask Mother to give your self-realization. So that's how you can get your self-realization. And it is free. So there is no membership in Sahaj Yoga. There is no charge. I've been practicing Sahaj Yoga since I was in 8th grade.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I've never paid until now anything.
Well, and they say it's not very difficult too, 10 to 15 minutes early in the morning or any time through the day. But you also mentioned that Sahaj Yogis are celebrating 100th birthday of Mataji. So what is your message and how is the celebration going to be?
So we're celebrating her 100th birthday. We are doing open houses, where people can come and see what Sahaj Yoga is, what Shimadaji did in her life, how she, spread this Sahaj Yoga. So her message was she wanted each and every human being to at least get their self-realization, minimum of minimum. So we would, through this program, we would like to convey her message to all the seekers, all the people of this world, of India, that please come and get your self-realization. If you cannot come to center, you can visit our online websites. You can, attend it there, or you can just open Shimadaji's photo wherever you are and, ask your self-realization. Get your self-realization, because this is the only way we can achieve peace within, we can achieve peace in the world.
Yes.
So this is what Shimadaji wanted.
Well, it is beyond theology. It's about us and each person. So it just transcends all religions, etc. And it's just individual practice, science and spiritualism coming together. Harvinder ji, Smita ji, thank you very, very much. And with that, we call it a wrap on this edition of The Right Stand. Brass Tacks follows.
Good evening, hello and welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Anusha Soni. The second leg of the budget session began on a stormy note. Both houses of the parliament were adjourned amidst ruckus. Top mantris, including Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, questioned Rahul Gandhi's remark on the foreign soil. While the controversy started when Congress leader Rahul Gandhi argued in UK that democracy is under some kind of attack and democratic institutions are facing a serious threat. Now, the BJP has termed these comments against national interests that compromise India's image abroad. The Congress party has defended the comments, calling it rightful criticism, lamenting that BJP is running away from quote-unquote real issues. Well, will this session yet again fall prey to a political slugfest? It seems that critical legislative business is being held hostage to mere politicking. BJP argues that Rahul Gandhi has crossed a line and the jury is still out on that. But should precious parliamentary time be wasted in this manner? After all, it's the taxpayers' money being wasted. First up, a special report.
राहुल गांधी ने लंदन में जाकर भारत को बदनाम करने की कोशिश की। थोड़ा कुछ भी शर्म है तो राहुल गांधी इस सदन में आके माफी मांगना चाहिए।
The second leg of the budget session of Parliament kicked off on a fiery note.
Rahul Gandhi का बयान देश का अपमान है। Rahul Gandhi का बयान देश का अपमान है।
This time, the trigger was Congress MP Rahul Gandhi's recent visit to the United Kingdom.
Rajnath Singh ji,
The BJP claims Rahul Gandhi insulted India from abroad.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपसे यह मांग करता हूं कि पूरे सदन के द्वारा उनके इस व्यवहार को कंडेम किया जाना चाहिए और उनको ये आपके द्वारा निर्देश दिया जाना चाहिए कि संसद के फोरम पर आकर वह क्षमा याचना करें। अध्यक्ष महोदय,
एक विपक्षी नेता विदेशी देश में जाकर और भारत के लोकतंत्र पे अनाप शराब बातें करते हैं।
The Congress defended Rahul Gandhi's statements and said there is nothing to apologise for.
And leader of the house himself raised the issue of Rahul Gandhi.
Right.
So it is their mistake. He is not a house member of our house. How can he apologize in Rajya Sabha?
He talks in terms of this being an Indian problem that Indians would solve and that others need to be aware of it. That's all he said.
During his week-long visit to the UK, Rahul Gandhi met members of the UK Parliament and the diaspora and said democracy is under attack in India.
The BJP responds, right? It's not interested in a conversation. They've decided that they know what's going on. Nobody else in the country understands what's going on. And that's it.
As the war of words escalates between the centre and the Congress, who is really rattled here?
Well, who's really rattled, and more importantly, it's the precious parliamentary time which is being wasted. Let's tell you how this controversy really started. Rahul Gandhi made multiple statements while he was in UK last week. When addressing students at the Cambridge University, he said that democracy is under attack in India and claimed that Israeli spyware Pegasus was on his phone. While addressing the Indian diaspora, Rahul Gandhi said defenders of democracy like US and Europe have failed to notice that a chunk of democracy has been undone in India. While he met the members of Parliament in UK, he said that India's democratic institutions are under attack by the RSS and BJP. He continued. During a lecture, Rahul Gandhi said that while BJP thinks it will be in power eternally, there is a strong resistance building against the ruling dispensation in India. What exactly was Rahul Gandhi really referring to when he made these statements? He cited examples of microphones of opposition MPs being switched off. He also claimed that journalists are being intimidated, attacked and threatened. He further alleged that Judiciary and Election Commission, the key institution of India's democracy, are at risk. Well, let's take these questions to our panelists who are joining us on the broadcast. That in this political slugfest, will the larger parliamentary issues, about 36 bills which are pending, will they be lost? Joining us on the broadcast is Shazia Almi from the BJP. We also have Dr. M. K. Vishnu Prasad from the Congress Party. We also have Mr. Ratan Sharda from the RSS and Mr. Javed Ansari is also joining us. Good evening to all of you. Shazia, coming to you first. There are various questions that have been raised about the propriety of the statements made by Rahul Gandhi. But is he so important that precious parliamentary time should be wasted on him?
I mean, just to, I cannot get my head around it or comprehend the fact that Rahul Gandhi, who's actually not just a member of parliament, but a very senior leader or considered so by the Congress party, would go to the UK and attack India and India's democracy and all its institutions. And not just that, the kind of things that he said and alluded to, I mean, literally saying that democracy doesn't work. And not just that, he invoked EU and and the US, and literally asked and said that they're oblivious to the state of affairs in India. So I think it cannot be a bigger travesty. And more than that, I mean, for the life of me, I can't figure out why would a member of parliament lie so blatantly in a foreign land, knowing very well that his lies remain unsubstantiated. That people would know that, you know, that nothing can be substantiated because everybody knows that they're far from the truth, that microphones have never particularly been switched off, that we are indeed a sovereign country, and that, but the fact that a person can be so, I mean, I hate to say the word, but so almost idiotic that he doesn't even know that we are a sovereign country, that we achieved independence many years back. I mean, it is so foolish to have somebody like that and go there and say something like this. Of course, it impacts us as for who we are as a people and where we stand in the world, and to go there to our yesteryear's colonial powers and to have our democracy.
All right, Shazia, you made the point. You made the point about how these comments, according to you and the BJP, are damaging for the country and national image. There's one more point I want you to respond to, and then I'll go to the Congress Party. The Congress Party also says that you're raking up all these issues because there are other substantial issues on which the Congress Party and the opposition is demanding an answer from you, and the government doesn't have any answer.
What questions? When it comes to the Adani and JPC probe, the Supreme Court is looking into it. There's a 6-member panel. And the fact is, why did Rahul Gandhi rake them up? What was the need for Rahul Gandhi to go to Chatham House? And you know, this doesn't reflect badly on just India and India's democracy and the parliament. but poorly on him, because he's a parliamentarian after all. There are governments, I mean, Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan. I mean, does he have no faith in democracy? Does he choose to resign from his position as a parliamentarian?
Let me take these points. Let me take these points one by one with the Congress party.
Governments. I mean, come on, think about it. It is really sad and tragic and also ludicrous. So obviously it should be taken up.
Dr. Prasad, coming to you and taking in a word from you. The critical thing that the BJP is arguing here is that you have no basis or substance when you argue that democracy is under some kind of threat. Are you saying free and fair elections are not happening in this country? Are you saying that there is no independent Supreme Court in this country? Are you also saying that the key institutions have been completely compromised and this is some kind of emergency era that was imposed by the Congress party? The BJP is demanding an answer from you that if you're arguing democracy is under threat, substantiate those allegations.
See, definitely what Rahul ji told in UK is absolutely right. There is no question of exaggeration or imagination. The microphones are being switched off. It is a fact that the microphones of the members of the parliament are being switched off, in spite of adopting the proper procedure to intervene and give a speech. Number two, democracy is a big question mark as far as India is concerned. He has not attacked India. He has attacked the Modi government, which is killing democracy day by day. And democracy is in shambles today, and it is a very pathetic situation that we all in India are facing, because last session it was Pegasus and Hindenburg report for Adani, and every time we question, we ask for a JPC, it is not given. See, simply by appointing a JPC is not a big thing. A government can appoint a JPC, then the process of examination can go on separately. Thereby 35, whatever the laws has to be passed and the demands on grants has to be discussed, it can be discussed in a very constructive manner, for which we are ready 100%. We want to represent our constituency, we want to represent the country's future progressive pathway, and that is what we are all being trained of.
Are you sure that you even have the support of the key opposition players, when it comes to the opposition unity, quote unquote? Because a lot of opposition parties want to remain in arm's distance when it comes to these statements of Rahul Gandhi.
No. See, Rahul ji clearly said it is an attack on democracy. And everyone understood that. Everyone knows that what he says is right. There is absolutely no sense of exaggeration in this question.
If everybody knows, it's a legitimate question to ask. Dr. Prasad, it's a legitimate question to ask. If everybody knows, quote unquote, that what Rahul Gandhi is saying is right, then why is the Congress party facing the kind of electoral defeats that it is in the last 7 to 8 years? Are you, one of the key questions that the BJP also asks is that just because you're losing elections, does it mean that democracy is under some kind of threat?
No. See, winning election and losing election is a part of political scenario. See, that does not come with the way the democracy has to operate. Democracy has its own essence. And the fundamental duty of an opposition party is to retain the democracy of this country and to ensure the absolute safety of the people, irrespective of the caste, creed and community. And that is what we Congress people are for. And that is what we are insisting day by day, in spite of so much of involvement from the institutions and mishandlings of the institution, misuse of the institutions. It is happening every day, but still Congress will be in the right path in questioning the wrongdoings of the government, and it will play its duty as an prime opposition party.
Mr. Ratan Sharda, questioning the government or criticizing the government is not being anti-national, and the opposition parties have a right to do so. So does Rahul Gandhi. That's what Dr. Prasad is arguing.
I do agree that questioning the government is not anti-democratic, but questioning the democratic institutions, is that not anti-democratic? You go outside India and you try to create suspicion about its most august democratic institutions by claiming victimhood. That is the biggest sign that you are being anti-democratic. And you go outside, because when you speak about it in India, nobody believes you. For an absentee MP, for an MP who is on bail for National Herald case, to then talk of institutions not being working, etc., doesn't work. Just because you are not in power for 8 years, just because you are not winning most of the elections, it doesn't make the nation doesn't become anti-democratic. Anti-democratic when you suspend all the institutions, when you take absolute control like an emergency, and when you dissolve assemblies left and right and center under Article 356, when you amend the constitution for 100 times, and you also change the very preamble of the constitution, that is anti-democratic. So don't tell people what is democratic, what is not democratic. And I would say that it's not political process, it's very democratic process that elections happen. When Mr. Prasad says that winning or losing elections is not actually really doesn't matter, but democracy still doesn't exist. So what is democracy then? Please tell me, if regular elections, independent elections are held and you win some, you lose some, or lose most, still you believe there is no democracy? You come on TV every day, abuse Modi ji, abuse BJP, it still remains anti-democratic, it remains no democracy. So please look at what you are saying and where you are saying. The BJP will utilize it to its maximum extent. You can't quarrel about that. I am not speaking about whether it is anti-national or not. My main point is, when you raise substitution of the very institutions which are there for long years, have been respected all across the world, you are creating basic doubt about Indian democracy. That
Absolutely.
is
whether it's the Supreme Court or whether it's the Election Commission, they have continued to function irrespective of which governments have been in power. Dr. Prasad, a quick word from you, then I'll bring in Mr. Javed Ansari.
See, democracy, using, you can dissolve a government or bring in an emergency. There is a provision in the constitution, and that is what we have been doing so far. But misusing
Dr. Prasad, I'm a student of as a student of law. How many times was Article 356
can be used like
by the union governments when Congress was in power
so this
to
is
dissolve
what
the
is a
state
question mark to
governments?
democracy. The art of muscling over the SEBI and ED, all these things. See, in Northeast you have got only one MLA, but immediately you form the government. But in Mumbai, Maharashtra, with 40 MLAs,
there is a straight question. Dr. Prasad, one second. There's a straight question that Mr. Ratan Sharda has asked you, that when you amend the constitution dozens of times, when there is a change in the preamble of the constitution that happens, more importantly, 356 and the manner in which various state governments were dissolved, that is used dozens of times by the ruling Congress party.